offset. When you are done, you hit enter, and you want to get back in to do a different non-offset, you hit enter again, okay? And instead of typing offset or going up here, finding it, it will do it, okay? So now we are at 6 here. Now there's my slot there, and I can trim out of there. So there's the hole for it, okay? At least that component of it. I've gotten part, this is going to go over a certain distance and then into that back part. Well, this is 3 inches wide, so I can take that into account. And take this forward, and I know that it is going to come back to here. And then straight forward. So now I can get rid of that one, or could have converted it, not a big deal. There's a line representing your oblique plane back here. And then these guys get trimmed up to this point here. And if you really want to, you can take this forward and bring this up. Like I said, lots of ways to get it done. How you do it's up to you. Okay? The slot cut through here. I'm going to leave it temporarily until I get my side view drawn so I can get figured out where it goes through here. All right? Other aspects. We'll wait on the 5x5 hole. We've also got this little guy, which is a wedge shape, an oblique plane here. That's point to point to 6, which is 2 units back. Could have drawn that here as well. Get this over here. At least it starts there and ends there accordingly. Okay? And you can do the same thing down here. Drop it straight down, and then from here it goes to that point. So we're starting to whittle away at this thing, right? For the most part. Now, what I need to get to is the side view and finishing up this aspect of the slot cut through this oblique plane. All right? I want to start projecting. Take this over, take this up, less than 45 here. Will get us a nice angle. All right. Take this across, this down. There's the thickness of it. That's the back of it, so I don't really need to worry about that. So there's the thickness I have to deal with. And if you remember, it starts at the point that's down to 3 inches above. It doesn't matter, because I know it's here, and then up to there. Slot cut through is here and here. All right? Once you get to this point, lots of things can take over, right? Especially parallel lines, where they actually go through, all right? So the first thing we have, this line is parallel with this line, which is parallel with this top cut. And this angled component here is parallel with this one, okay? And those are all helpful clues as to where you actually will figure this thing out. The endpoints here, sort of a nice little indicator as to figuring out where the angles were, okay? Like in the top view, I need this point especially. Well, this would be sort of handy to figure out and create a parallel line with. So as I'm looking at all this, parallel line here, parallel line here. All right. As I come to where these things are figured out, okay, I ended up getting my angle guy here put in, which is helpful in creating where exactly that thing starts to angle, okay? Which is at that point. So at that point, I can take this line and I can copy it from here to there, and I can trim it up. Fillet, sort of a handy little guy with a radius of 0. We'll cut things out of there, okay? And then this is the bottom where that slot ends up going, here to here. And just like that one, I can take this and copy it from here to there. So that is the extent of where that slot ends up going through the oblique plane. Now you've got one last thing to do is convert this to a hidden line. And that's all you're really going to have to load here is just a hidden one, or a dashed one. I'm already past it, so once you get that done, you should be able just to turn that into a hidden line. So there is that component. Now, once I have that figured out, I can take either one of these points over and down. And let's get rid of these, and then take this and copy it from the end point to there, and that will give me where it exits the side view. Lots of trimming here. And there you go. At least for the side, that side slot. Okay? But you'll see it takes all 3 views to get something like that done. It's not impossible, as long as you remember the parallel lines in the isometric are going to be parallel in the orthographics. Okay? Remember that. And the nice part is, anytime you look at the hole cut through there straight on, it's just going to be representative of what its shape is. Alright? Which means, 2x3 slot cut through here, I can actually get that put in there. Alright. Where do we go next? Well, I got this 8x8 thing with the 5x5 hole cut through the middle. And then I got a wedge shape, or a triangle shape cut through it as well, which we'll get to in a second. I'll do that in the top view. So in the side view, my 8x8 cuts down to here. I believe it's centered. Looks like it's centered. Yeah, centered. So the nice part is, let's do a diagonal across here and then a square. And then place it right in the middle. Move from the midpoint of this to the midpoint of that. Then get rid of the diagonal there. That's the nice part about diagonals. Okay? Once you get that done, let's think about that slot thing then. It is, or goes to 4.47, which is a weird number, and 1.98 each direction. Easy enough. So come back 4.47 and 1.98 over and 1.98, 1,000. Draw your slot through here, triangle shape anyway, just by going to the midpoint and then trimming things through here. Gives you the shape that you need. Okay? And then from that you can take over this direction and down and over in this direction and down essentially you're going to end with several things happening here. Looking through this thing, okay? Now it doesn't cut all the way through because it is tapered, so we need to end up going through as well. You'll have an angle here and here to the midpoint. So lots of this information is going to be determined by a couple things, where it actually exits. Okay? So you will end up with multiple lines. In other words, from this point across and down, that's at this point, then it comes down to here, heads straight up, and then we got this line that cuts through here and down to here for the most part, representing that slot, or the oblique plane, I'm sorry. There we go. Okay? This is gone, and instead of just doing it both sides, we can mirror this thing when it's all said and done. All right? That's that one. So technically, I take this and mirror it. Get the other side. This is going to go up until it hits this point, as well as this point. Now this one you can't mirror because it's in the oblique plane, which means this point and that point. And then from here, this is going to angle a little bit until it gets to here. Figure it out at this point, angles to that point. So lots of stuff happening there. And like I said, it's a little confusing. So let's clear some stuff out of here. All right. So we got that point, which we figured out. This point and this point are my next ones to deal with. They will go to here and here. And then from there, you've got angled lines. Okay? To the midpoint, which should be that. All right. So we'll take this back up real quick. So that's how it's supposed to look. All right. Oops. Got rid of the one I needed there. Midpoint. There. And then you get one all the way down there. So, matter of just working through these things, getting to the end solution there, okay? Hidden lines, you can figure out where it's going through here. Now, I've got a slot cut through here that terminates there, so basically this is a hidden line as well. And then this ends up going through there. If you are unsure, basically you can work it out. Now, there is a bit of a slot through there as well. You've got a 5-inch hole coming through here. see it lines up with that one, which is there. So it means it lines up with this one here. These will be your hidden lines, except for part of it that's going to be shown. And that part is actually being cut through your center. So at this point, it starts angling up at that same angle, parallel here, as you're looking at it. This is parallel and parallel. So pretty straightforward as to where things are going to go through. So I'm looking at it in the top view. This one's the one I really need. I figured out it starts right at the corner here, which means I can take this and copy it from here to there and get over to this point, and then this will drop straight down here and be visible. So that's how it's supposed to look in the top view. In the side view, it's already shown. In the front view, you can take this down and do here, and take this and copy it from there to there, and get your front view. So here and getting back there. All right, so you get the idea working through this. Last thing, once you get everything done, now there's some other hidden lines missing. All right, let's get over here into the layout space. You're just going to click on one of the layout tabs. Probably one, unless you screw it up, then go to two, and then come back and delete one. Okay? Doesn't really matter. The whole idea behind layout was it used to be called paper space. The paper space was used specifically for printing. That was it. You don't draw on it much, you just print on it. So, the white space represents the visible paper. Since AutoCAD was created for the manufacturing industry, it starts at 8.5 by 11. You will not be getting an 8.5 by 11 sheet on your midterm. It will be architectural C or engineering D or E, okay? And then you will get a specific scale associated with it. First thing, right mouse click on the layout down here, and you are going to go to Page Setup Manager. Once you're here, it identifies the layout accordingly. You're just going to get modified. Now, this is where AutoCAD tends to take over, and it will default to the printer of the room you're in. Okay? Change it to none. Alright? Right off the bat, just change it to none. Because none gives you every paper size imaginable, which allows you to finish what you need to do. Right? Say we wanted architectural D. Okay? At none here, I can open this up. Anytime I tell you architectural, you're just going to pick on the architectural D or C or E, whatever paper size I identify for your section. Okay? If I say engineering, engineering has adopted the ANSI standard of paper sizes. Okay? All you got to remember, architectural, you pick the ARC. Engineering, you pick the ANSI. Okay? Pretty straightforward. So we'll do architectural D. And we'll hit OK. Do not screw around with the plot scale here. It's not bad if you want to do it here, if it's for the entire drawing. But in most cases, what a lot of architects will do, they'll have multiple drawings on the same piece of paper at different scales. right? And if you end up putting a, I don't know, 1 to 4 scale here, and then you end up putting a 1 to 4 scale on the viewport, you got a 1 to 16 scale. And multiply. Alright? So just leave this one at 1 to 1, and your life will be so much better, or easier, less stress. Hit OK. You'll notice that the page has enlarged considerably in white space. This thing is called the viewport. It is a window into model space. Click on it. It's just an object. Okay? And you can stretch it out around the paper. Double click inside. We are now looking at model space now. I can zoom up. F7. Find it. Turns off your grid. Please turn off your grid. Okay? Once you get this sort of centered, double click outside of it and select the viewport. When it's not selected, you will not get your scale window down here. Click on it, scale pops up. If I tell you 1 to 2, I'm up here at 1 to 2, and there's a 1 to 2 scale. Okay? Straightforward. What happens if I give you a scale that's not shown? Down at the bottom, there's a custom. So I want you to add a 1 to 3. 1, 2, 3. 1 unit page equals 3 on the drawing. Hit enter and OK. Take this. Now I have a 1 to 3 there. That's a 1 to 3 scale. Most of the time, all of the scales are pretty much given. The 1 to 3 and the 1 to 5 tend not to be shown much. Okay? So if you happen to get a section that wants a 1 to 3 or 1 to 5, not a big deal. Create it real quick as a custom, and then you can assign it. The last thing you're going to do is add text in here. Identify the front view, the top view, and the side view, and put your name on it. Okay? And that's just coming up here to a single line text and adding it real quickly. The thing about paper space, it goes back to paper size. So any text you put on the drawing at 18 inches or 21 inches wide, it's going to be up there around 2 or 3 inches to see it, right? This goes back to 1/4 inch size, whatever. So you say 0.25, 0, and you can say top view here. Once you get it done, just copy it. Here, here, here. Change this real quick by double clicking. Like I said, oops, right side. And hit one more time, Corey, Siri. All right, and you're done with the layouts component of it. Okay? Lights are coming up. Do not forget the layout stuff. It's probably the easiest 40 points you're going to get. Okay?